Hey, what up y'all? Mr. Cruz here, the littest teacher you never had, back with another video. Today I'm super excited to be talking to you guys about my beat store. Now, not just my beat store, but in actuality, I am coming up on the 1-year anniversary from when I first launched and started my beat store and committed myself to saying, I'm gonna start making music again, and I'm gonna go full force, and I'm gonna give it 110%, and I'm gonna do whatever it is that I have to do in order to pursue this new venture in my life. And that happened almost a year ago to date. Now I'm literally recording this the beginning of November, so today is like November 3rd. So don't quite know when I'm putting this video out, but it'll be at or around November 8th, which is when I started my beat store. So knowing about that, I wanted to do a little bit of retrospective and give you guys some insight and talk about my experiences of not just having a beat store, but essentially being with BeatStars for a whole year, and a lot about my experiences and my thoughts as far as what I've learned, how I've grown, the connections I've been able to make all throughout the past year, just looking back on, Mr. Cruz as the musician, Mr. Cruz. So for starters, I would say I started my beat store last year, and I kind of committed, as I said, I committed to going back into music and doing music again full force out of a miscommunication that I had with a conversation with a friend. I saw him posting beats, and I was like, yo, dude, I didn't know you was making beats. He's like, yeah, I started a little beat store. And I thought I heard him say, yeah, I started a little beat store, made about like $200 in 1 month. And I was like, yo, what, for real? Like, that's pretty dope. Like, I have never, and I had been making music since I was like 14, making beats since I was like 16. I had never made anywhere near that much. But most of the part, I was doing it for myself. I was trying to I couldn't give beats away. Like, my stuff was trash. So I thought I heard him say, hey, I made like $200 in a month. But apparently a couple months afterwards, I had posted something about, well, I had started the beat store because of that. Sometime down the line, several months down the road, I had posted one of those, we do with the little sale thing, say, hey, you just sold a beat on BeatStars or whatever. And he had messaged me saying, man, I envy that. I look forward to the day when I can sell a beat like you did. And I was like, yo, dude, I thought you had made like $200 in a month. He's like, what? No, man, I never said that. So it must have been I must have heard something that I thought he said. And it's kind of funny because I don't think, if he hadn't told me that he was making money off of his beat store, I don't think I would have started it, to be honest. So it's kind of serendipitous the way that kind of worked out. But shout out to my dude. I'm not going to call him out and stuff like that. But he knows who he is, especially if you're watching him, my dude. Gucci gang. The other thing is, having the beat store, it was definitely nerve-wracking at first because I did a lot of research. Even before I signed up for BeatStars, I had the free account. And I think I had the free account for like a couple of months, and then I was like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna go in full force, and I'm gonna get, the page, whatever subscription allows you to have like up to 50 beats up on the store. I'm getting really close to maxing that out, but I'll give you a little tidbit on that later on. It was nerve-wracking. I watched a lot of interviews, a lot of tutorials on other people's experiences with it, decided to go in for it, and I would say off the bat, I felt like a fish out of water, because a lot of the people whose videos I had been watching and tutorials, they were a lot farther along. And it really seemed to me, I guess my impression was, all right, all I got to do is put beats up on this store, on this website, and whenever I interact with people online, just shoot them a link, tell them to like just drive traffic to my beat store, and then that's it. Then like everything else will take care of itself. I was very, very, very wrong about that. So there's a whole lot more that goes into, from me creating the beat to actually getting the sale. That is a huge mountain. And especially for somebody who knew, like, I've been at it for a year. There are people in the game who've been at it for, 5, 10, like lots of years, several years. And they're kind of just now getting to the point where they're seeing the fruits of their labor starting to pay off. As from the musical aspect, I say I've definitely gotten better. I've been able to make beats a lot quicker. That was one of the things that I started off with, saying that, all right, if I'm gonna do this, I need to at least commit to putting up 1 beat a week. I need to be able to finish 1 beat a week. I know there are a lot of people out there who do like 1 beat every single day. I can't do that. I got a family, I got a full-time job, I got a wife, kids. I can't do that. Like, I literally do not have the time. Now, I know a lot of those people also are there like, yeah, man, I made this beat in like, 20 minutes. I made this beat in like an hour and stuff like that. I'm not at that point yet, but I've gotten better and I've gotten quicker with my process and being able to create my content. And a lot of it has in part to do with templates. I'm understanding how I want stuff organized. And I'm just like, I have scheduled inspiration. So I'm not at the point where before I didn't have that pressure to deal with, where I used to just, all right, well, I've got back to what I was saying. I'm not at the point where I used to be, where I might have had, a couple hours to work on something and I would literally spend that much time, however much time I had, working on one thing. I'm now at the point where, all right, I've got 2 hours that I could spend in the studio. All right, for the first hour, this is what I'm doing. Then I'm gonna spend 30 minutes doing this and then 30 minutes doing this. So I've become more scheduled with it, and that kind of has allowed me to have what I call scheduled inspiration, which when I sit down to make a beat, all right, I've got an hour to make a beat. I can't fool around. I can't mess around on Instagram or can't be on social media. Can't spend, 20 minutes looking for the right snare sound. I just got to go in there and create. And that has definitely helped me to be a better producer, in my opinion. I've also learned a lot of stuff about music theory. Like, I knew zero about music theory, but now I know how to find the key of a song. I know how to make sure that the other melodies, my sub melodies, are also in key. I know a lot more. I have a better understanding of chords and chord progressions, whole bunch of stuff like that. That's also been super helpful. And because, and kind of what I was going back to saying as far as being better and being quicker, it used to take me days, maybe sometimes weeks, to finish a beat. And I would spend hours, like countless hours on it, because I just always kind of felt the pressure of saying, no, there's something different that I can do. No, I could do this better. No, I could find a better kick. And sometimes I would get bored with whatever sounds I had in there, and then I would spend an hour, going through presets to find a different type of sound. So I put the pressure on myself to commit to spending 1 week to make a beat. And if I didn't have something at the end of that week, whatever I had, I just uploaded. And some of them are like trashy beats that are still up on my beat store, but that's more in the sense of mixing. Like, I was not good at mixing. I would say I was at a level 3 when it came to mixing. Now I'm probably at a 7.5, 7 or 8 on a good day. Next, I would say, on top of having a beat store for a year, I've made a lot of friends and I made a lot of connections with people. That was like collabing, the idea of being able to collaborate with other producers. That had never been a thought that I was capable of ever doing. Like, I could bring something to the table that somebody else saw value in, or somebody else could create something amazing with. My experience had been, because I used Reason, a lot of people I knew didn't use Reason. So that was a challenge, and it was difficult in and of itself, because when I was younger, my friend had Pro Tools or he had Logic, and I was stuck with Reason, and we didn't come up with a concept or the idea or understanding where, oh, just bounce the WAV files and then send it over. It was really, hey, I'm working in something, you come play keys on this, you come lay down the drums on this. It wasn't this idea of I could create something in my bedroom at home and then send that to somebody in Serbia or in Berlin, and they can kind of finish that up. So that's been super amazing. Yes, those stories are true. Well, not with the guy in Berlin, but I've collabed with people in Vegas, people in Serbia, people in, I want to say it was Michigan. Man, I don't know where that guy's from. Michigan. Obviously, people in Tampa, people in LA. It's awesome, and that's definitely an exciting part of being a music producer in today's day and age, where I can literally create something and 20 minutes later, I can send that email and those sounds, that melody, those drums to somebody in another part of the world, and they can create something. And then by the next day, two people from opposite ends of the world can have created something together, and it sounds like dope and amazing. So that's also another thing. It's been super, super encouraging, and a lot of those people have now become my friends that, you know, I just hit them up on the regular, say, hey, what's up, how you kids doing, how's life going, and stuff like that. I've also made a lot of friends locally. So I moved from Tampa, which had a really booming music scene as far as hip hop goes, to Lynchburg, and the Lynchburg scene is not nowhere near the level that it was at Tampa. But I've met a lot of people, and I would say because the Tampa music scene was so big that there were a lot of trash people. So a lot of people sounded the same. They were trying to do the same thing, kind of have the same image, same style. There were a lot of copycats, and because of that, it really bogged down the music atmosphere. Here in Lynchburg, it's different. The people that I have heard, mad talent, and they're all very unique, and they have very distinct sounds, distinct styles, distinct brands and personas. So it's like a catch-22. Like, I'm glad that I'm now in community with a lot of musicians here locally who have such differing styles and who is just extremely diverse but in the same sense, you know, back in Tampa, you know, if I put the call out, hey man, I've got some studio time this weekend, who's trying to swing through, that spot would be filled up in, you know, in a matter of an hour or so. But that's also exciting as well. I have also learned that as part of creating content with the BeatStore, obviously you've got to create, you know, your graphics, you've got to do your videos, you've got to create your social media posts and automate. You don't necessarily have to automate them, but I do. Having to do all of these things, even having to learn how to record a video on my phone with my mic, import it into Final Cut Pro, synchronize it, cut it, and do all that stuff. Hold on a second. Having to learn how to do all those things, you have to wear a lot of different hats when you're an online producer. So having to do all of those things, and I've also learned to diversify your content. So, you know, I have the videos about, you know, stuff that goes on in school and being a teacher. And then I have the videos about just kind of my beat videos. You know, I'm just literally, here's an image or a video and here's my music. Boom. Then kind of sharing that knowledge of stuff that I've experienced and that I've gone through in the past as a performer, to doing tutorials, any kind of like motivational stuff, like stuff that I wish I had heard when I was a musician and I was young. So out of doing all that stuff and diversifying my content and trying to catch as many people's attention as I could, I have learned that I love making the tutorial videos the most. However, it's kind of weird because a lot of people, well, every time I do a poll or something like that on social media, a lot of people say, you know, hey man, I want some more of them like videos of you at school and stuff that you're doing with the kids, anything that has to do with being a teacher or whatever, all those funny videos that I do. Which those are great and I like doing those too. But out of all that, like if there's one thing that I could do all day, it would just be doing those tutorial videos. Because for one, as an educator, I love to learn. So like it sounds boring to a lot of people, but I love digging into the manual and like practicing and doing all those things and then kind of creating a video and finding out how do I communicate this and condense this into a way that's manageable and understandable for, you know, anybody. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the BeatStore, because at first I was like, all right, I'm only going to post beats. And if it doesn't have anything to do with beats, I'm not going to post it on my Instagram or on my social media. But then as kind of time went on, I realized that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do more. And so came up with making tutorials, and that's kind of how that came about, how that came along. But all that to say that I love doing the tutorial videos, and I'll probably do more. And so that'll probably also start filling up my YouTube and my Instagram. If I could go back in time, knowing that I've had my BeatStore for a year, have not really made that much money. Like it's It's embarrassing how little money I have made. I will say that I've more than covered my cost for, you know, any of the subscription services that I have, like Spice and BeatStars. I've upgraded some equipment. It wasn't a whole lot, and yeah, I don't think I've ever purchased. None of the money that I've made from my BeatStore has gone to me yet. It's sitting in an account, so that way I know, okay, I've got like 4 more months to make another sale before, you know, I have to pull money from like my personal account in order to kind of fund my BeatStars page. I do want to get a website in the future though, but I gotta get some more sales. I gotta make some more bread first before I do that. But all that being said, if I could go back in time to younger Javi, I wasn't that young back then. I was 33. No, 32. Dang, look, that's how you know you're old, when you forget how old you are. To kind of tell him, hey, you know, this is, if I had myself to talk to and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a beat store, what do you think? Here's kind of the advice that I would say. And this actually goes hand in hand with any musician out there who, you know, is thinking about putting their music online and taking their music a lot more seriously. First, I will say you will most definitely get frustrated. Push through it. Don't give up. You'll become frustrated because you'll schedule a post or something, and then you'll shoot a video, and then you'll realize that something was wrong, and now you got to do it over again, and that's going to eat up a bunch of time. Or you might have spent several hours creating this, you know, graphic or some content or some video and post it online, and then it only gets like 50 or 60 likes or views, and it's your engagement is not there. So you're feeling like the amount of effort that you're putting into the amount of effort that you're putting into it is not you're not getting the results. It's not being reciprocated. So you're definitely going to get frustrated. Push through it. It's what's going to help you is two things are going to happen. As you proceed and you continue, you're going to get frustrated, but you'll learn to be more efficient. So if you shot a video or if you made a graphic or something, when you realize that you made a mistake, the next time you're not going to make that mistake, or you're going to make that mistake again, but it'll be a lot more manageable, or you'll know what to look out for next time. For example, one of the things that I had learned is that as I was recording these videos, that I'm recording it through my DAW. And one thing that I had realized early on is that I set it to loop. And so I spent 15 minutes sitting here talking into my camera, only to find out that I only had like 10 seconds worth of recording. So you'll learn how to manage those mistakes as time goes on. The other thing that will happen is that you will understand and you'll learn how to deal with failure. And that's a really, really, really big part of being not just a musician, but being successful in general, being an individual, being a business owner, being an adult, is you got to learn how to deal with failure and how to harness that failure and do something productive with it. So you're going to get frustrated, but just anticipate that, one, you're going to at least learn from your frustration, and two, understand that that's just going to be a regular part of it, and learn how to deal with it and manage it in a appropriate way. I would say learn as often as you can. I soaked up every producer grind interview that was ever on. I would put my kids down and I would sometimes spend like an hour in their room rocking them, or just sitting them waiting for them to fall asleep, and I would watch videos, listen to tutorials, all that stuff, read articles. I learned and learned as much as I could. That was extremely, I would say there's no, and I still continue to do that. Sometimes I'm laying in bed, my wife is watching TV, and I'm sitting there like reading an article, watching a video on something. There's no limit to, there's no threshold. There should be no threshold to what you learn as an individual who's continuing to grow in their craft and in their talents and in their business. But I would say early on, that's what your focus should really be. Like, I think I spent a good 2 months watching videos and interviews and learning what I could before I actually took the plunge to start the beat store. Yeah, because and I learned that there's a lot more components. And actually, one of the benefits of it is that I learned that there are a lot of different things that go into it than just what you see on social media. And it helped me to anticipate certain things that I would not have been able to foresee. So one of the things that I had learned is from Cato, who said, this is kind of like a mantra that I kind of live by now, is that when it comes to music stuff, like making the music is the easiest part of it. It's everything else that's really tough. Like, can you be consistent? Do you have a good work ethic? Are you good with people? Can you create content that's engaging and that that is eye-catching? Can you edit a video? Can you make graphics? Are you good with social media management and social media marketing and all of those other things? And thinking that, wow, like from the outside perspective, all I'm seeing is some person who has a beat store that's very successful and they're making tons of money. But on the back end, I'm not realizing that, all right, so that one beat that they made and this one beat video that, I don't know, probably got, you know, tens of thousands of views or whatever, really took a lot more effort than what I'm anticipating. Like, people's success don't necessarily happen by accident. There's a lot that goes into it before that success takes a tangible form. So I would say that. So learn as much and as often as you can. Don't try to be like somebody else. I tried to, in the beginning, I was just, I loved, I don't know how to say this, because I kind of feel like I'm a hybrid producer. Like, I love doing trap stuff, because obviously, like, it's something that's super popular now, but even before it was popular, no, I won't say that. I love it. I learned to love it because it was popular, but then as it became popular and as I started doing it more, I loved making it more. But there's also a big part of me that loves using samples and loves kind of like that old school East Coast type hip hop beats. Something like DMX would have rapped on, or Nas, or Jay-Z back in their, I'll say in their prime, but like back in the 2000s, the early 2000s. So I really like making beats like that. So I kind of found myself getting frustrated that I was trying to make beats like other people, not realizing that I don't need to be like them. I just kind of needed to be myself. Like, you know, there is a market for people who want to have those old school type beats, or those, hold on. Can y'all hear my neighbors out there? Like, they're, what's good, JoJo? There is a market for the type of beat that you are making. Just know that, and don't try to be like somebody else and make something that you think other people would like. Make the stuff that you like, that you enjoy to do, that you enjoy doing, and all that other stuff will come, you know, in due time. You'll attract the right people when you focus on your content and what you would like to do. The last thing, and this is probably the most important thing, is time management. Time management is crucial. You can't sit there and spend 4 hours in the studio without a plan, because essentially what's going to happen is you're going to waste your time. I think of it like this. When I first got married, a friend of mine told me to learn how to manage my money, because he said, your money, when you, let's say you get paid, you got $500. When you get that $500, when it hits your bank account, that $500 is going to go somewhere else. Your money is going to disappear no matter what you do. But the key is to control, or be the one telling your money where to go. So if I have $500 and I have no plan, then I don't know, I might go buy some new shoes, go buy some new clothes. I might go spend 50 bucks. Well, that's that 50 bucks. I might go spend like 20, 30 bucks on lunch one day. I might, you know, go to the movies. I might do a whole bunch of things. I don't know, buy some stuff on Amazon, go on a splurge spending spree. But if I'm wise about it, I'm going to take that $500 and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put $200 in savings. I'm going to save $100. That's going to be my groceries. I'm going to save 50 bucks. That's going to be for my gas. And then I'll have this money left over, and that's going to be my fun money that I can kind of spend on doing whatever I want. That means somebody calls, say, hey man, let's go to lunch. I can't go. Hey, let's go to the movies. I don't have the money this week, man. We're going to have to plan something for next month. So I had to do that with my time. And I think that's actually more important than being that way with your money, because you can get money back. You can't get time back. Nah, I mean. So I had to learn how to manage my time, and that was definitely really, really difficult, especially frustrating in the beginning when I was trying to create my beats as quickly as possible. But in the beginning, you know, I didn't have my template set up. When I was trying to edit a video, and it took me, you know, 2 hours to edit a 1-minute video, 1-minute beat video, because I didn't understand. I didn't know the quick keys or the hotkeys to my program. And so as time went on, I learned how to be more efficient with my task. But the important thing is that I would go into the studio and say like, okay, I have 2 hours. I'm going to dedicate 1 hour for making this beat, and then I'm going to dedicate the other hour for creating the other content that goes with it. So my thumbnails, my videos and stuff like that. Now it's to the point where I can come into the studio, and if I have a beat that's ready, it'll take me 30 minutes to, you know, create, to download and make a video and all the thumbnails and all that stuff, and then I'll have that stuff ready. So I've streamlined my process. So I know this video is getting super long and I'm gonna cut it off, but that's just my experience and my insight into having a BeatStars or a beat store with BeatStars. If you're getting into it, don't sit here and think that all I have to do is get this account and upload beats and then the money's just gonna start rolling in. That's definitely not how it goes. Now, my experience with BeatStars has been really good so far. The website has gotten better since I've been there. I mean, I kind of have no complaints. I haven't done any of that paid promo stuff. I don't know how useful it is. I haven't heard any glaringly great things about it. I haven't necessarily heard any bad things about it either, but I would just say if you're doing that, or you're doing Airbit, or if you just have a SoundCloud, keep at it, but just know that that's like the tip of the iceberg, right? That's the real groundwork comes from what you're doing underneath and behind the scenes than just the stuff that you're posting online. All right, so anyways, that's what I got. Hopefully, now I told you guys that I would do this at the end. Now I've got a BeatStars account. As part of my 1-year anniversary, I'm gonna be doing a beat sale. So everything in my beat stores, everything in my beat store is gonna be half off. Here's what that means. You could literally walk away with a beat. Let's say you got 20 bucks in your pocket. You can walk away with four beats or 4 MP3 license. You can walk away with 2 wave licenses. You can walk away with 1 tracked out license. That means you got 20 bucks. You could buy a beat, record it, send it to me, get it mixed for free, all for 20 bucks. Like, that's a steal. Like, I don't know. I might have to check myself into a psychiatrist because I'm sitting here saying this and this sounds crazy to me. But anyways, so go check it out. There's a link. Go check it out. There's a link in my bio for you guys to check that out if you're looking for beats or anything. And again, anybody who buys a beat from my beat store, especially a tracked out license is what I mean. If you buy a tracked out license from my beat store, you get free mixing. You send me the stems or the vocals after you have recorded it, and you get a free mix of that. No charge. All right. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the link below if you guys are a musician, what type of music you do, and where you have. Leave me links below where I can find your music at, because I would love to, you know, hit y'all up and see what y'all are working with. All right, Mr. Cruz out.